Let me show first the parts of the still. We have the pot, right? We have this separate dome, the onion it's called, or there are several other names for it. We call it the still head. The swan's neck is this long neck-looking thing, right? And then it disappears into this mysterious container here. And what happens inside here is this ends in a long coil to give maximum surface area. And it comes out, unfortunately, in the back, so you can't see it. But what Doug is doing is pouring water in here. Cold water goes in the bottom, comes out the top because heat rises. So as the coil heats up, and it gets very hot because copper is a very good conductor of heat, the cold water at the bottom cools it and condenses the steam inside. Now, the reason pot distillation works is a simple matter of thermodynamics. Alcohol is a light chemical compound, lighter than water, and so it boils at a lower temperature. It boils at around 173 degrees Fahrenheit. What temperature does water boil at?
Everybody remembers this. Come on.
Come on. 212. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so we've got this temperature gradient here, right? Now, water and alcohol is a hygroscopic compound, which means it bonds with water. So you can't just heat it to 173 and have the alcohol all separate out. You have to use a lot of energy to break those bonds. So you have to kind of heat it up slowly from 173, and it starts to vaporize. And
we got stuff.
We got a little bit of stuff coming out here. Okay. Now, not everything. There are things in fermented products that are even lighter than alcohol. Those are almost all toxic in some way. So the first thing you have to do is get rid of those. And those are the first things that are going to come out, and they're going to smell a little funky. So this is slowly dripping out in the back here. This is the hardest part of the pot distiller, is to figure out where to make this cut, right? Between the heads, the first thing off, the heart, which is all the pure alcohol, or as much of it as you want, and then what's left is the tails. After a certain point, you get diminishing returns, and all these heavier compounds start coming in with the alcohol as you heat it up more. And those can be also funky. Now, those can also add flavor to your distillate. So you want to, in other words, there's an art to making this cut, depending on what you're distilling. Now, the column distillation takes all this and makes it so much simpler, because as the steam rises, you're dripping in your cold wash from the top. And as it drips through, you put a bunch of little plates in this column. And as it drips through slowly along these plates, the steam strips out the alcohol, and you tap it along the side where you want it, just at the right temperature to get the pure alcohol. And it's quite easy and continuous. It's a much cleverer idea, and really not that much more complicated in its simplest form.
With column still distillation, there are plates, multiple plates within each column. And at each stage, as the alcohol vapors are rising and hitting each of the metal plates, there's further purification.